welcome to Burnham Pavilion, the home of your Cardinal men's gymnastics team. Tonight's competition features the national teams from USA and Mexico competing in the FIG team format of 3 scores per event. In the NCAA format of 4 scores per event, we have the Cal Golden Bears and your Stanford Cardinal. Competing in the individual are the international all-stars from Finland, Puerto Rico, and the USA. Now, let's meet the teams. Starting on floor exercises, Team Mexico. On the pommel horse, Cal Golden Bears. On steel rings, International All-Stars. On the parallel bars, Team USA. And on the vault, your Stanford Cardinal. International athletes, please prepare for your 4-minute touch.
Hi everybody, and welcome to the 2026 International Collegiate Challenge on the campus of Stanford University in Burnham Pavilion. Today's competition will feature gymnasts from Team USA, Team Mexico, the University of California, Berkeley, and of course, your Stanford Cardinal. I'm Eddie Penev, joined today on the stream by fellow Stanford Gymnastics alum Josiah Eng and Luke Sturm. The Stanford Cardinal will be led by head coach Tom Galimi, Ruben Lopez Martinez, Michael Sokop, and Craig Hernandez Ojeda. Stanford is currently ranked number 2 with an average of 322.433 with a high score of 326.45.
International athletes, please prepare for your 4-minute touch.
All right, and on the California side, we have head coach Brian Del Castillo, associate coaches Carl Zine and Donathan Bailey. Your California Bears are currently ranked number 8 with an average score of 310.083 with a high score of 313.95 this season. All right.
And on the USA roster, we are going to have U.S. national team member Asher Hong, current and most recent U.S. national team member David Shamah, U.S. development team member June EY, and Riley Loos, as well as Taylor Burkhart.
Awesome. And for Mexico today, we have Alejandro Yanez, Antonio, Carlos, Gail, Isaac, Javier, Jose, Juan, Mario, and Rodrigo. I'm super excited to have Team Mexico here today. Also competing for the All-Stars, also a lot of Stanford alum here as well. We've got Colt Walker, Divier Delgado, Evan Himanson, Koi Young, and Marcos Pitierenen.
Attention NCAA gymnasts, your touch begins now.
All right, starting floor exercise, we have Team Mexico on pommel horse, California Bears on steel rings, the Team All-Stars on vault with Stanford Cardinal, and on parallel bars, Team USA.
It's going to be an exciting day today. I feel like the international intercollegiate meet is always one of the most exciting. Eddie, when you were at Stanford, did you also have this kind of type of meet? I know we did back in 2019.
Yeah, we've been doing this for quite some time. Where we're bringing in international athletes from around the world. Back in my day, we were doing it with Japan, and tonight we have Mexico, right? I think it's a really special thing for the collegiate world to mix with the international gymnastics community.
Yeah, totally. The pipeline between like the USA national team and men's collegiate gymnastics is so tight that it kind of gives these athletes the ability to get a little bit of experience competing on that international scale.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of times these things are kind of reserved for the U.S. national team, but it's really nice to see this on the collegiate level.
Judges, you have control of your events.
All right, it's go time. Looks like on parallel bars, we have June EY starting out for Team USA.
Yep. Hamna was a little short. June is on the U.S. senior development team, so he is right on the cusp of making it to the senior national team. So look out for him in the future. Really stylish gymnastics, very reminiscent of his Japanese heritage. Light, very nice.
Yeah, it was a solid start. A little shaky here and there, but got the job done.
Yeah.
Wow, and just finishing up on horse, we have Cal Berkeley with Cayenne doing an incredible pommel horse routine.
Yeah, exciting to see some of those flare elements. I was a former pommel horse specialist, and one of my favorite maneuvers was the flares, so exciting to see it still being performed.
Luke, if I recall, I feel like you were an innovator in the gymnastics world, often wearing shin guards. Is that correct?
Yeah, when you're practicing those flare maneuvers, if you hit your shins, it's extremely painful. So you could say I was leading in safety by practicing with some shin guards on.
Truly innovative. Definitely save some scars in your body. All right, so we're just coming off an exciting week of Winter Cup. Did any of you guys watch that competition?
Of course, yeah.
What were some of your favorite highlights, Eddie?
All right, so some of my favorite highlights. Okay, Jun Iwa was right on the cusp of making national team. He was phenomenal. I'm definitely missed Taylor Burkhart being there because I know he was an alternate for the 2025 World Team, as well as like that name.
shame we didn't see Asher Hong there, but I mean, it looks like he was taking a quick rest break to actually show off here at the international meet. Beautiful to pelt. Oh man, stuck dismount. That was gorgeous.
Yeah, that was nearly flawless routine. That looked great from start to finish. He's really coming out strong. Super exciting start for our Team USA, Team USA. And so for Team USA versus Team Mexico, we're going to be having 3 gymnasts up, 3 gymnasts count. And for our collegiate meet, for those viewing, we have going to have multiple people up, but only 4 scores are going to count. So slightly different format you'll see across the different teams, but it's going to be super exciting. All right, in vault, we've got our last gymnast from Stanford. He's had a pretty strong start on vault. We got Cooper Kim coming in here on the top right.
Beautiful cause, 1.5. Cooper is one of the top-ranked collegiate gymnasts on vault. Currently got 2nd at the Winter Cup.
And a super strong start for Stanford on vault. At least back in my time at Stanford, Tom generally loved to start on vault. It's a quick, easy, explosive way to get some points on the board, secure a lead. And it looks like Stanford did a great job coming out there and getting out any nerves.
Yeah, I am so impressed with today's athletes. Just the vault difficulty level, it seems like everyone's doing a cause 1.5. Eddie, was that the same for you, or what was the typical vault?
Vault was always our event of choice. In case you have those meet jitters, it's easy to use your adrenaline and lean on that and do some big vaults with a little extra energy.
Yeah, but it is incredible seeing everyone doing like 2.5 twists off the vault. Like used to be just maybe 1 or 2 people at the end of a rotation. Now, like just the level of gymnastics over the last few years has just gone up and up. It's pretty wild.
That was a beautiful routine from Taylor Burkhart, I believe. Finished with a double front.
All right, a few more athletes to go on both floor and pommel horse. On floor, we've got Juan David Hernoso, and coming up on pommel horse, we've got Harry Kim from California Bears.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Team Mexico.
A little bit of a fall there on the floor.
Very nice double with a slight hop forward. Double fold down the side, pretty standard.
Nice fun little artistry there.
And a standard double pike to finish.
Good bounce back from Team Mexico. So Eddie, if I recall, you were a big floor specialist back in the day. What were some of your favorite skills?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say after it's been a long time, but I have a skill named after me, so that was always fun to do. Double layout Arabian half out. That was really cool because I got it named after me while I was at Stanford going into my junior year, so that was always a highlight for me.
That's crazy. What competition did you compete at?
2011, dating myself, but 2011 Worlds in Tokyo.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot more double flipping skills because of the new quad rules. What do you think about that so far?
So a lot of the layout double flipping skills have been upgraded, and I think that's a really good call because it's quite a bit harder to keep your body stretched while flipping twice in the air. So I personally like to see it. I always competed a double in the layout position, so I appreciate that it's valued a little bit harder.
Yeah, it seems like this is your quad. I think you should come back from retirement.
Yeah, I wish when I was competing these things, I competed last year, but I wish earlier in my career that these were valued a little bit higher. But I'm glad to see that the guys are getting the value of the difficulty now.
For sure. All right. Ending us on pommel horse, we have Cal.
Yeah, last gymnast of the rotation here. A nice dismount there, right up the handstand.
Clean set, not too much difficulty, but perfectly executed.
Gymnasts, please move to your next event. We're looking for the thumbs up from every coach.
All right, and that concludes rotation 1.
Yes.
All right, ending rotation 1, it looks like we have Stanford in the lead with a score of 56.15. Cal second place with a 51.3. Followed by Team USA with a 40.65 and Team Mexico with a 36.45.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see how it goes. You know, it's always a little bit tough to judge and compare apples to apples on the different events because they're such different scoring events. Should have a much better idea after the second rotation.
Yeah. And we will have Stanford going to the parallel bars, Mexico going to pommel horse, Cal going to rings, and Team USA going to high bar.
Ladies and gentlemen, who wants pizza? Pizza will be run to the most.
Here in the audience there's some pizza being run to the fans. That's a very time-honored Stanford tradition, handing out pizzas at home meets. I've always wanted one, but they never gave them to the alumni.
Yeah, a true Stanford staple.
A lot of
I feel
the
like back in
freshmen
my
actually
day,
run them out.
one of the biggest motivations for sticking in dismount was being able to throw a t-shirt to the fans.
We were doing that back in like 2011.
Yeah,
And
super
the
exciting to
Trailblazers.
see these traditions like continue to go forward, especially with like pandemic and everything. A lot of these things get lost, so it's cool to see them still in full force.
California, 51.3, 40 USA, 40.6 in the 5, 36 in Mexico, 36.45.
right, looks like the gym's starting the 2-minute touch. So, Eddie and Luke, since all of us are both Stanford alum, when's the last time you guys have been back to campus?
I was back for my 10-year reunion, but not to date myself, but yeah.
Was that last year?
That was 2 years ago.
Okay, 2 years ago.
2024, it was like, yeah.
Yeah, I was back somewhat recently, getting dinner with Jerry Kane, who's one of my Stanford CS advisors. He does like a little advisor dinner for some of his current students and also bring back old students. And so it was really great catching up with him and hearing how the academic world is going. What about you, Josiah?
Well, I live in Redwood City, California, so very close to Stanford's campus.
Yeah.
I was actually there this past week, trying to get a quick workout in. But, saw some of the guys, felt good to, be back on the floor. But certainly cannot do what these guys are doing these days on the events.
Yeah, I'm always so impressed. There's still a lot of people from like our era that I know that are kind of training for fun. I'm at the point where I'm afraid to do a backflip because I don't know how it's gonna go. So it's exciting to see people still kind of training and being able to get in there with the guys and do some stuff.
Absolutely. I think the last time I did a backflip was actually for another Stanford alum's wedding, Akash Modi. We had to do a dance at his wedding, and I included a backflip.
Yeah, I think that was the last time I did backflip too. I was also there.
On high bar,
we just started, and Marcus just hit a huge handspring double front.
And we have Asher Hong and high bar, who just did a massive casino likewise, and a pike Kovacs. He was on the 2025 world team, had an unfortunate injury right before the qualifications, so this is really a comeback year for him. But he was slated to be all-around at the World Championships for Team USA, which goes to show how talented and how capable he is. That was a beautiful set, punctuated by a very nice dismount, half in, half out. I believe he's able to upgrade, but very solid.
Yeah, it's incredible. But between that and his performance on P-bars, it doesn't look like recovery, or it looks like he's already back in full force. It's really, really impressive coming back after injuries like that and 2 flawless routines. For that vault you mentioned, it was a 13.75 got scored.
Let's hear it for Team USA.
Yeah, it seems like for those joining, anything above like a 13.75 to the 14s, it's a great score for these athletes. Zach Green just scored a 14.
Exactly,
Huge
14.
score for Stanford.
Yeah, huge score. Fun fact about Zach, he is the son of Kristen Smith, who used to be the head coach of the Stanford women's gymnastics team while I was there.
Yeah, cool.
His dad was also the assistant coach at Stanford too for a little bit.
He was for a season. Yes, he was the assistant coach.
So lots of gymnastics blood in that family. Great routine for Kira and Mendava. All right, now if we look at the rings, we see. All right, I don't know if that's Asher Hong, but
Now on the rings
Wait,
is
individual from
Carter
Cal?
Kim.
Yeah,
Carter Kim, that's right.
Hunter Kim. Yep. And with a small hop back. Beautiful. So the important thing for a team like Cal is to put up a nice away score to boost their national qualifying average. And that's what they're looking to do here is have a good away meet, good home score, whatever they finish, not really as important as the kind of score that they're able to put up.
Yeah, and so far they seem pretty solid, you know, just knocking out their routines, looking good for them.
Yeah, you see a lot of gymnasts visualizing before the routine. That was one thing our team and head coach Tom Gleamy told us all about is visualizing and, you know, executing how you want to do it in your mind first before doing it in real life.
Yeah, did you guys have a pre-event ritual that you'd go through?
Yeah, yes. Tom really liked the visualization. I personally like to go in, like if I was very prepared, I like to go into autopilot. Like I really didn't want to think about my routines that much. I just wanted to go up and do what I do in training. And like we did it so many times, like just do what you do in training every day. I that was my mentality, is just go into autopilot and let the body take over.
Yeah, similarly, I would do like a little bit of visualization, but then, you know, once I actually got up there, I just try to clear my mind and then kind of pace anxiously back and forth.
Yeah. Unfortunate fall on a very difficult Coleman from June Lua. He is a phenomenal high bar worker, does some of the highest level of difficulty in the US. But I think one of the big things with him is working on the consistency aspect. Because I've seen some of the routines he does in practice, they're absolutely phenomenal, but putting it together in a competition is, you know, a whole different animal.
Yeah, I believe he recently got 4th at Winter Cup this year on high bar. So a lot of potential there.
He did.
Let's see if he can finish strong with the stuck double-double. Oh, so close.
Nice.
Really nice style there in the air, though. I love when gymnasts kind of open up early and have a lot of time before they land.
That's that Koei Uchimura style. One of the goats for men's gymnastics.
Yes. I've done a lot in gymnastics in terms of like competitions and stuff because I've been around for so long, not because of anything else, but competing with Koei has been like one of the coolest things I've ever gotten to do.
Yeah, I feel like
was that at the World?
Super special.
Oh, I mean, yeah, everything from like the first time I think was like 2010 Worlds in event finals on floor, and I've also gone over to Japan a bunch of times and competed in Toyota Cup and done several like training camps at his gym in Nintendo. So yeah, it's been really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Over on pommel horse, we got Juan David Hernandez.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Nice finish.
Mexico.
All right, up next on high bar, that's David Shamah. Very huge Yamawaki to start with.
Yeah. Beautiful German giants, really hard on the shoulders. Shoulder out. Half in, half out. Gorgeous. David is a super talented athlete, one of Stanford's top gymnasts at the time, or at this time, and he most recently made the U.S. national team as per Winter Cup. So big things for him in the future.
All right, on P-bars we have Arun Chetri. Ooh. Tucked bell into a half turn.
Yeah.
Don't see that very
Yeah, happens. Oh, and then a front of rise right into a Hamna. Some very unique gymnastics. Leave it to Tom to put in some of the most interesting connections, even if they're not valued more. Some interesting routine connection right there.
I was just about to say that Tom is known for kind of loving to dive into different connections or things that are done a little less often, regardless of what they're worth, just to kind of put on more of a show and show off the gymnastics artisticness.
And to confuse the judges.
Yeah, and perhaps to confuse the judges. I certainly was a little bit confused at what I just saw.
Tom, he always tries to find a way that fits his athletes in something that's a little bit different. I've always appreciated that.
Yeah, there's so much creativity at Stanford. I think, all the colleges out there, Stanford has probably the most individuals with main skills in the code of points.
That was the final competitor of the second rotation.
With you, Eddie Pennant, being one of them.
Correction.
Yeah. I mean, Tom did make up the skill, because I was doing a Tamayo, but then he was like, why don't you just do a half? You don't have to worry about locking your legs down.
Wow, huge 14.45 from Arun. Yeah, it looks like Stanford just dominated on parallel bars. That's always been a strong event for the team.
Anyways, yeah. If we couldn't start on vault, parallel bars was the next option. At least back in my time.
Yep, I think that still checks out. Even to when we graduated in 2019, that was still the plan. All right, looks like we have the final individual on Pommel Horse right now from Team Mexico.
Yeah, if you've been watching Team Mexico, they've had a little bit of trouble on Pommel Horse, a few falls. So they really need a good score here to kind of end it out. But usually teams will save some of their strongest people for last. So we'll see what Alejandro Yanez can do. Also on high bar, we've got Taylor Burkhart.
Yeah, this should be a highlight of a routine. Huge Casina. Oh, unfortunate fall. Gymnasts like Taylor are using this competition as a prep for competitions later in the season, so I'm sure he's getting some of the kinks out, trying maybe some new routine constructions. Taylor's known for some big Takache work. Some of the double flipping Casina Coleman stuff is a little bit new, I'd imagine.
Yeah, as it starts to get into that middle part of the season, I feel like it's honestly, even though there's still a lot of season left, it's one of the last times to kind of try out some of the harder skills in your repertoire to see if you can do it later in the year.
Yeah, exactly. That's we're February, March. Yeah, you're trying things for later in the season. That's what he's known for right there. A beautiful Winkler or layout Jaeger full that is staple Taylor Burkhart right there. And let's see who's going to do the big dismount. Just a half in, half out today. Taylor's a high bar guru. He has so many tricks in his arsenal or repertoire. He is capable of a triple pike, which is rated in H, I believe. Yeah, H. That's phenomenal. He just did a half in, half out today to play it safe, but he is one of the most capable high bar workers in the U.S.
Yeah, I think this quad is definitely catered to someone like Taylor, someone who can chuck huge skills and huge dismounts.
And last gymnast up here for the rotation is Alejandro. He's already had 2 falls in this routine. A little bit short there on that dismount. It's definitely a little bit of a rougher rotation for Mexico. They're going to have to count a couple 11s and 12s. So it kind of opens up the door for Team USA.
Yeah, and I mean, for a team from Mexico or any team that comes to the International Collegiate Challenge, it's just another opportunity to get out in an uncomfortable environment and try something, and try to get used to a different environment. Because a lot of these teams and where they come from, this isn't the kind of atmosphere they're used to competing in. I think if you go to an international competition, there's kind of a sense of decorum and quiet and there's a clapping at times. But the thing about Burnham Pavilion, it's kind of compact, so you really feel the fans and everybody's kind of right next to you. So I think for a lot of the teams that come in, it's a very different competitive environment, and it's something that they can use for the future.
Yeah, and you can see the people in the stands jumping up and down, screaming as you say that.
Very, very
Screaming for that pizza.
Very different.
Yeah, another thing that's tricky, we had a couple teammates in our year compete for different countries, some of them in South America, in different parts of the world. Some of the equipment is also really different, and so you go to a different country and you might expect the floor to bounce one way, but it actually is completely different. And you'd think there'd be a little bit more standardization across everything, but a lot of times there's not.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So that could be contributing to some of the bobbles.
I think it's true. It follows you throughout your career. Every single competition I go to or I've been to, everything's just a teeny bit different. And part of being a top level athlete is adjusting in the time that you're given, because the equipment's the same for everybody. It's just who can adjust the quickest and perform at their best.
Totally, yeah. I felt like I was never particularly good at vault, but I felt like the vault landings at any meet I went to was way harder than anything I ever practiced on. So
Yeah.
It was always life or death out there on vault for me.
Yeah, we're all practicing the pit with some mats. It's different. Vaulting is always one of the bigger challenges in terms of landing, but some of the other events, especially high bar and floor, the actual equipment is different. It feels different. The high bar, the tension's always different, the chalk's always different, the bounce of the bar is always different, and then the floor is just sometimes it's super bouncy, other times it's quite a bit firmer than you would think.
Yeah,
totally. Yeah, and on pommel horse, a lot of it, honestly, the pommel horses are quite similar, but the big thing is it doesn't wobble at all. If it's not perfectly anchored into the ground, then it just wobbles a little bit, and that can totally throw off the rhythm.
And internationally, the pommel horse, from what I can, from recent experience, sometimes it's a little bit softer, and so when you're doing some of your circles, you sink in more in certain pommel horses, and others you're it's pretty firm. So pommel horse is already a tricky event to begin with, and so when you throw in some like different type of materials and different type of surfaces, it becomes like an even more challenging event.
Yeah. As a ring specialist here, do you have any thoughts on the rings equipment?
Yeah, I think the only ring was actually pretty similar across all the competitions I've been at. I think sometimes the biggest change though was the rings would be wooden versus some plastic material. So that was always the biggest change. But overall, once you put enough chalk on it, you don't really feel a difference at all.
As long as you can get that overgrip, right?
Yep, exactly. It's all about the false grip. All right, but looks like we're starting rotation 3 now. We have Stanford on high bar, Team Mexico on rings, Team USA on floor, and Cal on vault.
And super strong start for Stanford right now. They're leading California Berkeley 111.65 to 102.55.
And on floor, Asher Hong opened up. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, and then for USA, we've got a 79 versus 71.85. So USA in the lead.
Oof. Asher Hong is doing an absolute world-class floor routine. Opening with, I'm not actually sure what he opened up, but the second pass was full double pipe, which is phenomenal. And a third pass of a double twisting double layout, that is like world class, like top in the world right there, right here.
Yeah, and he made it look easy too.
Yeah, this I believe is a 15-8, 15-7 start, which is like literally top in the world. Double twisting double, out of bounds, but amazing for a fourth pass.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for
Oh, maybe a dismount.
That's such a hard dismount.
Yeah, super challenging dismount. That was like a absolute monster of a set.
Oh wow, and you guys shift your eyes to the bottom left corner. Nick Quebler just hit a huge high bar routine, stuck double layout. So many big releases in that routine.
Nick Kubler.
Nick is actually one of my favorite gymnasts on the Stanford team right now. He has so much power and clean execution.
Super stylish, yeah, in general. Really good form on everything.
Yeah, we'll get to see him go to floor next rotation, and he's the national champion back in 2023 on floor. So great all-around gymnast.
Great iron cross right now on the steel rings.
Another cause 1.5 from Cal, a little short this time. Nathan Underhill.
Nate Underhill. I think he's from Wisconsin. Shout out to Wisconsin.
Yeah, right. Josiah, you were Milwaukee, yeah?
Yep, that's right. Born and raised.
With Marvin, right?
Yep. Great Marvin Kimball.
Marvin Kimball. Trained with him for many years.
Nice. All right, on floor we have June. Just hit a huge front
full
double pike.
Yeah, he is one of the top gymnasts in the world on floor. I recently competed with him as in last year, competed with him at a World Cup. He is absolutely brilliant on floor. Kicked my ass. Oh, sorry guys.
Yeah, I can't believe this guy's just a freshman too. So whatever,
just the most biggest,
like it's working for sure.
He actually tied one of the reigning world championships, or world champions on floor in one of the World Cups. He tied one of the reigning world champions, but because of execution, he ended up in second, and the other guy got first. So June is like top of like world class on floor. I believe he has a 5-6 in difficulty, which is insane.
A very impressive routine.
Strong showing on the range from Team Mexico. That was a great routine. Lots of good strength elements there. All right, and Cal ending strong on vault by Mateo Bardana.
Yeah, it looks like Cal had maybe 1 or 2 falls, but a couple really strong vaults as well. So kind of a mix.
June with a 13.95. Pretty good. Yeah, the 5-6 start.
Very good floor score. Yeah, 5-6, 8-3. Huge. Taylor Burkhart opening with an Arabian double pike half out. Beautiful. Full to double Shamah. Oh, David Shamah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's right. Competing for Team USA. Double full down the, or layout down the side. Like I mentioned before, David Shamah is one of the newest members for Team USA as per Winter Cup last week. So, like, that is one of the most, like, prestigious things you can do in college is make the U.S. senior national team, and David's managed to do that. So, he has a bright future ahead of him.
But on parallel bars, we just saw a unique dismount, a half in, half out from the end of the bar.
And a stuck half in, half out from David Shamah. Extra 10th, ladies and gentlemen.
We have that green flag.
Wave that green flag, yep. I wish that was around when I was competing.
Oh, they didn't have green flag?
So yeah, when you were, so you're what, like 20? I don't even know. But like, did you guys have stick bonus or?
Yes, we did. Yep.
You guys had stick bonus?
Yep.
Yeah, and it actually played quite a major role in the competitions. Kind of our freshman, sophomore years, we were going up against Oklahoma. They were #1 for like 3-4 years straight. And they would just stick everything. And so, I mean, we really tried as a team to get those stick bonuses, because a lot of times the meets would be decided just on the sticks or not.
Yeah, I never had that when I was around, but I mean, like, we still knew that Oklahoma was like a stick machine, like, whether you got the bonus or not, so we always worked on it, but I think the importance of it was really emphasized in the last several years.
It's a good incentive.
Yeah, I think it just makes the whole routine feel a lot better if you end it so solidly. So I like that they're giving it. I think it is a big deal.
Well, like, try to stick a triple pike now.
Yeah, that would be hard.
Now it's a little bit different because you can do like more difficulty for a little bit more bonus, especially in like the international world. You get the stick bonus too, but you can also get like 3 or 4 more 10s if you do a triple. So you can either go with the stick or you can go with the triple. Either way.
All right, on high bar from Stanford, it looks like we have Wade Nelson.
Wade is actually a gymnast I do know. He is from the gym that Sam McCullough, the great Sam McCullough, came from, SCAF in Southern California. I've done several training camps with him. He's absolutely phenomenal, always been phenomenal on high bar. Super excited to see him at Stanford.
All right, let's see if we can finish strong.
Just twisted a little late on that double. That's like part of his technique. He goes a little bit later into the twist, but the risk is that you finish a little late and then you end up a little bit short, unfortunately, on the landing.
Yeah, doing such a big dismount in high bar was always so difficult for me. I feel like my hands were always ready to slip off just from doing all these releases. I can't even imagine how these guys do it.
Yeah.
Did you do all round recently, Eddie, or was your main event just floor and vault?
No. So last year I competed 3 events: floor vault and pommel horse. But before that, I was trying to do the all around leading into the Paris Olympics, but had a shoulder issue, so I had to stop.
Got it.
I mean, honestly, before that, I hadn't done really all around since many years. It's like, to be an all around athlete, you really have to be very on the younger side and very fit, and kudos to the guys who do it, because it is not easy.
Yeah, I only did one event in college, and that was hard enough. The people who did all 6, it's just incredible what they do day in, day out. It's almost 6 times harder, like, really, when you look at it. So it's incredible. I mean, usually those are the people that are also the best at almost all the events, regardless. So yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah. And to be an all-arounder in the U.S., you like what I was saying with Asher, you have to be phenomenal to be the top. You know, it requires quite a lot.
All right, looks like we have one more gymnast on high bar from Stanford, Zach Green.
Yeah.
Yeah, and California, Berkeley finished up on vault. You can see them already starting to get ready on parallel bars. They had a 54.25, which compared to Stanford in the first rotation, they had a 56, so about 2 points less. Starting to be able to compare apples to apples.
Beautiful Takamoto from Zach. Is it with the casino? Wow, Zach. I remember Zach when he was 10 years old. So wow, this is like beautiful high bar work. German giants, super show of flexibility, shoulder out, a little bit bent arm. And a triple back. Wow. Major props. Zach Green, that's a huge high bar set.
Strong finish to Stanford.
Yeah. I remember this kid when he was 10 years old, so it's so impressive to see where he's gotten in gymnastics. And that was a massive high bar set.
All right, now we're at the halfway point of the competition. You can share the team scores once Zach's score is shown on the screen.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to make some noise because here comes the pizza.
All right, as we're heading to the fourth rotation now, Eddie and Luke, I'm curious, who were your gymnastics role models growing up?
I'll take it. Kohei Uchimura is like the one I want to say because he's like the GOAT. But this is before your time, so I don't know if you guys might remember, but Liu Xiaopeng in China was my idol.
Very impressive floor and vault and parallel bars. Champion.
Yeah. The most unique gymnastics.
Yeah, I also was a huge Kohei fan. I mean, who couldn't be? But I do remember just like I don't even know a lot of their names, but I used to watch back the 2000s and 2004 Olympic videos on repeat. I had like a VHS tape that I used to put in, and I'd watch those meets over and over again. And that would always get me fired up.
The days before YouTube.
Yep. Watching 2004 in Athens on VHS was quite impactful in my gymnastics upbringing.
I'm glad to know I'm not the only one.
All the controversy that surrounded the 2004 Olympics, like I'll never forget it. Shout out Brett McClure if you're watching.
Yeah, one of my other inspirations, who's not here today, he's actually one of the assistant coaches at Ohio State, was Casimiro Suarez. He was an amazing gymnast back in the 80s, and I actually trained under him for a couple years at Orlando Metro before he went and became the Ohio State assistant coach. I used to watch a lot of his videos. He also did some really unique, fun gymnastics, invented more skills than most people. At one point, I think he was one of the people who had invented the most skills, but I don't know if that's still true.
Yeah, I feel like the skill that comes to mind for me is his high bar release where he does Stalder into you can full.
Yeah, Stalder, you can full, cause.
Yeah, lesser known, but he actually
at Ohio State, you might add.
What were you saying, Luke?
I was gonna say one of the lesser known ones is actually the front 1 and 3 like straddled on P-bars. That's actually also his skill.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. But most of them were on high bar, like you guys were saying. What about you, Josiah? Who is your gymnastics
I'm gonna
title.
go very old school. I'm gonna say Jordan Yachev.
Oh wow, Bulgaria.
Yep, he is from Bulgaria, but this guy was one of the top all-rounders back in the early 90s. And for those of you watching, look up on YouTube, Jordan Yachev, one of the cleanest, best style gymnasts probably in history.
Yeah.
Great individual. I think he still volunteers for the gymnastics community back in Bulgaria. But very strong individual on rings too.
Yeah, so for the last couple of years of my career leading into Paris, and last year I represented Bulgaria because I have dual citizenship, and I was born in Bulgaria. So Jordan Yevchev is like one of the heads of Bulgarian gymnastics, and he is like one of the most profound sports persons in the entire country, and he is revered and respected throughout the country. And I always looked up to him growing up, and now I have a very professional, like, working relationship with him, and he's still very involved in Bulgarian, not just gymnastics, but sports as a whole.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Being on floor too, along with rings, and I think a bronze medalist in the all-around at one point as well.
Nice, but we officially kicked off rotation 4. We got Stanford here on floor, Kaya Uemura. We also have June on pommel horse.
All right, Kai finishing with a nice double pike to dismount.
Yeah, it was a solid start for Stanford on floor.
Next up on floor, we're gonna have Cooper Kim along with Asher Hong on pommel horse. So 2 Stanford standouts, 1 former.
Asher's actually still a senior at Stanford, so just imagine the team score.
Yeah, thank you, Josiah. Yeah, he's just representing Team USA today. That's right, he is a senior. That's the one thing. Yeah, because he's on Team USA and represents the U.S. national team, he is able to compete in this competition under the U.S. flag.
Yeah, it's always interesting because Stanford, at least in the recent past, has had so many athletes on the national team. You really don't get a full idea of their team score almost until conference championships.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, their depth is not really shown until like the postseason. I always seem to forget that Asher is actually a senior and is still able to compete on Stanford if he wanted to, or if Tom wanted him to. Beautiful double Russian on 1 pommel, E-flop. The thing with Asher is he has never been the most natural pommel horse worker, but he knows that unfortunate fall. Asher knows that this event is one of his weaknesses, but he's worked so hard to raise his difficulty and just in general work on his swing, and he's added a lot of difficulty, and that's why maybe you see some mistakes right now. He's trying to be competitive. He's trying to be competitive with the top all-around gymnast in the entire world. So he's really fighting for a world all-around medal, and sometimes this is
competing at this upcoming American Cup coming up in a few months.
Few weeks actually, but yeah,
a few weeks.
Next month. Yeah, next month in 2 weeks. As well as actually a team from Mexico. as we have David Hernandez on high bar. Or vault, sorry.
Strong start from Kai Uemura on floor. He was the first up. He got a 13-9, which rivals some of those high scores we saw from Team USA last rotation. And just a 14-0 for Cooper Kim. Great scores.
Huge floor score.
All right, now is Zach Green on the floor exercise.
Full double front, pretty standard. With the full to support transition, or non-acro. Beautiful player work.
And did you have any of these stylish non-acros in your routine before you retired?
No. I was just trying to like do as much tumbling as I could, so like as little effort as I could on the transitions and like the non-acros. Like double dismount and just save as much energy as I could.
A full twisting prone.
Yeah. I was like, triple Russian was hard enough for me.
I like this addition though. I think it adds a good, cool, different like element to the floor exercise.
Yeah, no, I greatly appreciate the gymnasts that can add style to the routine, and like I think it's really important and it's becoming increasingly more important in this code. But I was trying to like survive the routine.
Great finish for Zach Green on floor. Yeah, so what was your secret, Eddie, to surviving the brutality of gymnastics for so many years?
A lot of cardio. Like later in my life, later in my career, I worked with some phenomenal strength and conditioning coaches that really like increased my cardio, and I was doing a ridiculous amount to try to like, I knew what I had to do at the end of my floor routine, so I was like, training myself for that moment. And but before like leading like to like in terms of like becoming a floor guy, it was a lot of like air awareness and trampoline, and at the end of my career it was just a lot of cardio.
Was that like through running or just through gymnastic conditioning?
No, a lot of like assault bike.
Oh wow.
Yeah, running was too hard on the joints. No, I never ran ever. No, it was a lot of like bike workouts, assault bike.
Got it.
That is so impressive. You were competing until last year.
Yeah, for those watching, that's great.
Wouldn't you?
If you want to do gymnastics past 30.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
All right, here we have Nick Quebler on floor, opening with the strong front double pike.
Yep, definitely someone to watch. Like I mentioned, he's won this event in NCAAs before.
I forgot Nick. Yeah, he's one of those. Yeah, super stylish gymnast.
There's that 360 to prone you were talking about, Josiah.
Mm-hmm. What a throwback. I used to do a 720 to prone back in 2007.
Dang, you should have brought it back.
I know I tried to do it and like I knocked like the crap out of my chin last year. I was like, nope.
Gotta risk it for the biscuit.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful opening.
It's something Tom would have loved if I forever brought that. He loves those vintage skills. Beautiful half in, half out. Just a hop back.
Yeah, super cleanly executed floor routine. Most of his landings were on point.
Beautiful form in the air throughout.
All right, looks like that concluded rotation 4. Luke, you want to give us the team scores?
Sure, yeah, as soon as they all come in, I think we're waiting on a couple more scores for Team USA and All-Stars. But currently, between Stanford and California, Stanford's leading 220 to 209. Stanford's really having a strong meet today. Very few mistakes, so it's super exciting to see that.
Yeah, Stanford is shooting for that.
Prevalent.
So Stanford's shooting for that like 325 mark. That's like the top in the nation. And so like in gymnastics or in college gymnastics, they're always looking for your team score because that's what seeds you going into nationals. And so Stanford is looking for anything to come close to Oklahoma, which is the top team, and they're ranked number 2. So anything above a 320 is competitive with Oklahoma, and I believe that's what they're maybe not focused on, but that's like the goal.
Great, yeah, and you can see all the scores up here. We have Team USA leading Team Mexico 156 to 145. And the All-Stars are also doing strong with the 125 as well.
Yeah, it's so cool to see all these different teams come to the Stanford Intercollegiate Challenge. Yeah, remember Japan was over here back in the day. We had Finland. Puerto Rico has come in the past.
Japan, Switzerland last year. Switzerland this year.
Yep.
Growing into rotation 5, we're going to have Stanford on pommel horse. We're going to have our All-Stars on floor. We're going to have Team USA on rings, Team Mexico on parallel bars, and California and Berkeley on high bars. So this is going to be a critical event. You know, pommel horse is always a make or break event for Stanford, so I'm excited to see what they'll do.
After 4 events, your team scores are Mexico 145.35, USA 156.7, California 209.45, and Stanford 220.3.
Also, for all you viewers out there who are tuning into the YouTube live stream, we have a view of the comments, so let us know if you have any questions. We'd be happy to chat with y'all.
4-minute touch starts now.
All right, let's get rotation 5 started. On rings, we have June Ey starting for Team USA.
On pommel horse, we got Arun first up.
Varun has been a staple in the Stanford pommel horse lineup. He's been the leadoff guy, very consistent for many years now. Busanari, what a very challenging skill. And this is your leadoff performer, mind you.
That was a great stave.
Yeah, great save, a real good fight. A flare, side travel into a tongue fei. Yeah. Really good fight throughout. And a really challenging set, especially as a leadoff performer. That is some like high risk gymnastics.
Down on the bottom right, we got Jackson Mitchell on high bar with some really big release moves. And a nice routine.
As you see right now, the gymnasts apply honey, chalk, sugar water, and sometimes molasses, all in an effort to help them hang on to the parallel bars better.
All right, next up on the ring, we're going to have Asher Hong.
Asher is phenomenal 2024 Olympic Trials champion on rings. And I believe he's silver medalist too. Yeah, he is world class on this event. One of the top ring routines. Josiah, you can appreciate and...
Oh yeah, I'm getting tired just watching this routine.
Yeah, he is world class, like, simply put.
Great lines on all the strength skills.
Watch the dismount here, huge layout double roll.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Staple Asher.
USA.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
Asher actually was he tied to make the Paris Olympic final. He was in 8th, but with the tiebreaker, he ended up in 9th, so was not in the ring final. But it's a testament to how good he is. He was good enough to make the Olympic final on rings.
While we're waiting for that score, we got Troy on high bar for California Berkeley. Big release here. Seen a lot of flying giants today. That's where they go up and release. Is there a new incentive for flying giants, or is it just a skill of choice for this generation?
It's a B with no deduction.
Yeah.
Or very little room for deduction, I should say.
Yeah, so just a safe skill.
Zach Green, I believe, on pommel horse? No, Xander Hong. So, younger brother of Asher Hong. Or no, this is
Yeah, this is Zach Green, I believe.
Zach Green, yes.
Man, those flare skills are so hard. Luke is a flare specialist. What is your tips for hitting these hard skills?
Yeah, the flares are hard, and honestly, where they really get tricky is when you know how a lot of these guys are doing them, where you're doing it between the pommels. So you'll see he just went over both pommels there. When you're actually doing that, it's quite a big leap for your hands, and your body's already up in the air. So yeah, it's very tricky to do all these different variations of the flare. But like I said earlier, I love to see it. I actually had trained a routine that was almost all flares because there was a miscommunication in the code of points where they were changing it and they made it seem like you could do all these different flare skills and you actually couldn't. So I never ended up competing that routine, but I almost did a completely flared pommel horse routine.
Yeah, I think there are some guys internationally who do all flare routines or all flare skills in the routine.
Yeah. I mean, take advantage of the code where you can and leave it to Tom to do it, or to...
Yeah, it used to be part of our homework to go through the whole code of points to see, what skills, could you add to your routine or train.
Yeah, and going back to kind of idols or people I looked up to growing up, back in 2008, Alexander Artemov for me was one of the first people who really showed off the flares at the Olympic Games, and that was definitely an idol for me.
I think he previously coached Taylor Burkhart too, so it's interesting to see, how one generation passes, their skills and knowledge to the next generation. So it's so apparent.
Yeah, and he's the current Alex Artemov is the current coach of Ewell Moldauer. Ewell and Taylor come from the same gym, 5280 in Denver, and so it's no surprise that they both utilize the same skill.
Yeah, you also have some great flares.
Beautiful, yeah. That gym is renowned for flare work, and it makes sense with that when Alex is the head coach there, and his dad before him, Sasha, USSR great.
Great routines from Stanford on pommel horse. A lot of amazing kind of travel skills over both pommels that makes it look easy, but are so hard. Gonna be a good score.
Different style of pommel horse too. Like we were talking about flares, but there were no flares in that routine. But he still executed that like superb, using those long arms. And we've just seen a huge resurgence of great pommel horsers from the U.S., which has been historically not our strong suit, but. I'm very curious to see, if anyone has any data on that or can pinpoint what happened.
One thing I will note that, starting in the 2020 quad, with the specialist spots, we saw sort of an emergence, for specialists on events. And one event that really seemed to breed a lot of specialists was pommel horse. Starting with Alec Yoder from Ohio State, Steven Netter-Rossick, who went on to win the World Championships, and then now Patrick Hoops from the Air Force Academy, Brandon Dang from Illinois, yeah.
And then Parker.
There's more room for specialists now, yeah. But Steve really got the ball rolling from Penn State.
Yeah, our freshman year, actually, we were at NCAA's in the rotation with Steven Netter-Rossick, who was, Penn State hadn't made the finals, but he was there just competing for himself. And I don't think any of us knew who he was at the time, and came out and he was like first up in the entire competition, and he got the highest score of the entire meet right there. And all of our jaws were on the floor because we had no clue who he was. It was amazing.
That's right.
Still remember that.
The golden days.
Master of his craft.
Yeah, it was back in 2016.
Yep. I remember watching that 2017 Nationals, and he was right on the cusp of making that 2017 World Team, and he just took off after that. Every year after that, he got better and better and better, and then he just missed out on the Tokyo team, and then came back that same year because it was the COVID year and won the World Championships after being an alternate for the Olympic team 2 months prior. So kudos to him, and then he went on to win to become an Olympic bronze medalist in 2024.
Did you all watch him on Dancing with the Stars?
Yeah, of course. Steve is one of the most charismatic, outgoing, nicest human beings I've ever met, and super happy for him and all the success he's had in gymnastics and, of course, with Dancing with the Stars.
America's favorite for sure.
Yeah, a hero in glasses.
I think I'm gonna start wearing glasses now.
All right, last gymnast up of the rotation here from Team Mexico. We've got Jose Oropeza. Finishing up strong. All right, and that wraps up rotation 5, I believe, right?
That was the final competitor in the 5th rotation. Gymnasts, please move to your next event.
All right, rounding out the team scores for rotation 5, we have Stanford in first place with a 270.95. California Berkeley sitting in second place with a 262.3. On the international side, Team USA is winning with a 194.7, followed by Team Mexico with a 180.3, and then Team All-Stars with a 151.2.
Yeah, and so, Stanford coming in with almost a 271, like you were saying, Eddie, if they have a strong showing here on rings, they're set up for that 320 range. Maybe you can even try to...
More than a 320. Take over Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Today, Ohio State put up a 320 point something, so... Just to put it in perspective, everyone's shooting for that. Illinois was 319, so Stanford is looking anything above that. So they need to average around a 51, 52 to be well above that 320 mark.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your last chance.
Definitely on track.
Yeah, definitely on track.
Going into rings, another reason why Tom likes to start on vault. Not only do you get your energy and jitters out early, but rings is a good event to end on. I'll knock on wood, but usually not a lot goes super wrong, and you can just have your gymnasts, go out and do what they're capable of and put up some good scores.
Yep. We finish many of NCAAs on rings. Josiah, when you were on the team, I imagine you also got the opportunity to finish on rings, or maybe not, I don't know.
Yeah. For me, I have a little different opinion about that, just because, for me, just being a ring specialist, just going kind of 2 hours without really competing, I feel like you get a little cold after a while. So it's really difficult to, stay warm. But it's a team sport, and you got to do what's best for the team. So ending on ring was always one of Stanford's strong suits.
Yep. I've finished on rings and I've started on rings.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of strategy that goes into the lineups, who you lead off with, who you anchor with. Kudos to the coaches, for figuring out, the best way to create that lineup.
And that's why your ranking is so, not so important, but I would say why it's important enough is so you have that option. Because if you're the top ranked team, you get the first pick on where you get to start. So that's why every meet is kind of leading into their postseason and the NCAA championship, and getting to start the meet off where you want is really, really important, and psychologically, especially.
Yeah, in some ways it can almost backfire a little bit if you spend the whole season doing one thing, and then if you don't quite clinch that top spot or top two spots, suddenly you're doing a completely different order than you're used to, and it does change the whole rhythm of the competition. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
Judges, you now have control of your event.
Alrighty, and we're kicking off rotation 6 here.
On rings, we have Dino Roberts, freshman. Great lines on all his multi-season work.
Solid half in, half out.
Yep, good lead for team for the Cardinal.
We saw a cos 1.5 from Asher Hong on vault. That is a phenomenal score of 14. But Asher is actually one of the best vaulters in the world. Double front over. David Shamah just did a double front, a little bit over rotated, but still a huge vault. I know he can get that. I was saying about Asher Hong, he got a 14-0 with a cos 1.5. Asher is actually capable of the hardest vault in the world. Didn't do it today, doesn't need it today, but just for some perspective on how phenomenal he is on vault.
Also another great gymnast to look out for. We've got Koi Young on the pommel horse in your top right. One of the best in the country at pommel horse.
a 2023 world silver medalist on this event. Beautiful roll.
Look how fast he swings at circles.
And how open. Absolutely flat in his body. Beautiful. It's so good to see Coy back out there after so many, quite a few years of injuries. That was phenomenal. He was just shy of making the 2024 Olympic team.
Here's Nick. Getting there for that dismount.
Ooh, great layout double-double. Wow. That is
I love the athlete just gets so energetic after sticking a dismount.
Yeah.
That was a great routine.
That's the nice thing about this particular set of code of points or rules, if you whatever you want to call them. Even if you don't have as much of the big strength exercises or skills, you can say, if you do a huge dismount, you can rack up a lot of bonus points. And that's what Nick just did with that layout double-double. 2 flips, 2 twists in a layout position. Absolutely massive.
Yeah, I think that's going to be your event leader for today.
At least for the collegiate side. I don't know if Ash would. Yeah, 13.95, that's huge. 5-1, wow.
Yeah, it looks like Asher just edges his teammate out, Nick, by a tenth.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and that's huge for Nick. If you're like right up there with one of the top gymnasts in the US on rings, that's huge.
Yeah, great confidence booster.
So on rings right now, we've got Arun. You just saw him on pommel horse last rotation. It's always really impressive when a gymnast is both good at rings and pommel horse. I feel like both Josiah and I can say we were not the best at each other's events. So amazing to see someone be able to do both like he is here.
Only we're able to transfer bodies.
Arun was actually a 2024 NCAA All-American on rings.
Got a great, beautiful stick on floor from Cal. Nathan Underhill.
And just in from the Oklahoma-Nebraska meet that's going on right now, Oklahoma did just score a 331.3, a massive team score.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy.
331, yeah. Yeah, no shade. I imagine that was a home meet.
Yeah, it's always hard to compare across. Generally, judges are consistent within a meet, but from meet to meet, there can be slightly different kind of judging. Might be a little looser, might be a little tighter.
331. That's a national championship like securing team score, and like generally speaking.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely the highest team score this season, I think.
Yeah. 326 is the high right now, and I think that was set by Oklahoma, and they seem to have bested that by 5 points. I'm very curious as to what Stanford's going to end up with tonight. But they're right on track for 320 plus.
Yep, so right now in rings we have Reese, who has a very interesting opening for the ring. Wow, butterfly, Maltese, that was crazy.
A lot of strength skills.
Yeah, beautiful strength.
And even just a small thing like that press up into the L hold is so hard.
It's perfectly locked out arm. Very hard. Double, small hop forward, medium hop forward, but still.
That was a great set.
And I'll point out that pommel horse score for for Koi Young, 14.45, absolutely massive. 5.8 difficulty or 5.6 difficulty, and I'm sure he's capable of even more. Great to see him back out there.
Mateo on floor for California Berkeley just did a great routine to close them out.
In the last rotation. Fans, please be sure to stick around for the final result of tonight's meet.
We've got Mario Rojas for Team Mexico, last gymnast of the night. All eyes on
He's
him.
picking up from a miss, but doing a good job here. That hop.
Your favorite skill, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly, that one always freaked me out. I didn't like doing it.
Yeah, me
Great
too.
finish
Me
there.
too. I could never. Tom tried to make me do it for so many years. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it used to be, I think, in our like mandatory kind of high bar warm-ups, and I just
Never could do it. The cow hop, and that.
yeah.
Well, 323.9. It seems like for Stanford, that's absolutely massive. And what I will say about that 323.9, that is a phenomenal team score. But keep in mind that there's athletes like Asher Hong and David Shamah whose scores did not count towards that team score. And you have to imagine as national team members, they're going to add quite a bit more. So lots of potential for Stanford to score even higher than what they did tonight. And Cal, right up there, 312.95, I believe, or 85. I believe that comes very close to their season high, if not surpasses it. So, phenomenal job on a road meet for Cal.
215.75. USA 236.100. California.
And on floor exercise, 14.0. Cooper Kim from Stanford comes away with the title. 5.4 difficulty, absolutely massive.
That concludes our match this afternoon. Thank you for attending the Stanford Open.
Koi Young from Stanford, 14.45, like I mentioned a little while ago. 5.6 difficulty, 8.85 execution. That is absolutely top in the world.
Signing off, and as always, go Stanford.
Still rings Asher Hong, 14.05, 5.4. That's another top score within the world, or top difficulty score at least. 14.05, phenomenal. For perspective, 14.6 from Donnell Wittenberg, who won the world championships on still rings. On vault, 14.35, Cooper Kim once again. just a phenomenal athlete for Stanford on floor and vault, among other events. And Aaron, 14.45 on parallel bars, 5.3. Absolutely world class. 9.15 execution. More of the same. And Nick, 14.2 on high bar, 5.1, 9.0, world class as well. And Asher Hong, 81.4. That would have placed him second at the Winter Cup last week, so goes to show you what he's about as an athlete. David Shamah, 50. I will point out David Shamah, 78.25. He was 79 last weekend at the Winter Cup, and that's what secured him a spot on the national team. So he's right about where he's at.
All right, that looks like it concludes our competition. Thanks so much for joining us for the Stanford International meet. This is Josiah Eng, Luke Sturm, and Eddie Penniff signing off.
See you later, guys.
Have a great day, everyone.
Yep.
Go Stanford.
Yep. Yeah, go hard. All right.